Hello, good morning. Welcome to News Text with me, Ernest Menu. Coming up in this hour, Vice President of BOAYINI Africa, Bright Simmons, blames two powerful institutions working within the NCA and the NIA for the frustrations that has characterized the acquisition of the National Identification Card and the SIM card re-registration process.
All the problems we are facing with the SIM cards, the irrationality of the fact that people don't have the Ghana card, but people are still insisting you should use the Ghana card. If you delve into it very seriously, and why, it's actually because there are private companies behind both sides, the people that are doing the Ghana card stuff and the people that are doing the SIM registration stuff. Deputy Majority Leader in Parliament describes as dangerous attempts by some political actors to politicize the appointment of judges to the court, insisting such comments compromise the integrity of the judiciary.
This appointment coincided with subsequent judicial decisions against some plaintiffs of a particular political color. And so, critics have dangerously weaponized the appointment of judicial officers in a way as to mislead unsuspecting citizens into believing that judges do the bidding of the president who appoints them.
Chiefs and people of BOAYINI community in the Northeast region resort to self-help to fix the only road linking their community to prevent being cut off by the floods. We have business, tech talk, and sports all in this hour. Please stay with us. Hello again, many thanks for joining us. I am Ernest Menu. Vice President of BOAYINI Africa, Bright Simmons, has revealed that the problems associated with the Ghana card acquisition and the SIM re-registration process are as a result of selfish interest of certain individuals working within the National Communications Authority and the National Identification Authority. Speaking at the 2022 Bar Redu Memorial Lectures, the CEO of M-Pedigree said the registration process could have been made simpler for users, but for these intermediaries who are busy pushing their private interest.
Procurement is at the root of almost all the major scandals we've had in this country, which involves money, if you look closely. There is this current problem around SIM cards and the rest of it, and most people really don't understand it. I don't have time to go into it. But I can assure you, all the problems we are facing with the SIM cards, the irrationality of the fact that people don't have the Ghana card, but people are still insisting you should use the Ghana card. If you delve into it very seriously, and one day, hopefully I'll have the opportunity to give you another talk, it's actually because there are private companies behind both sides, the people that are doing the Ghana card stuff, and the people that are doing the SIM registration stuff, and they are competing among each other. So the simplest thing which would have been that when I was doing my Ghana card, you take my phone number, you send me a text message to establish that that's actually my phone number, and then you connect the data, which is my biometric, and that's the end of it. My card is registered. The reason they will not allow you to do that is that it offends some people's private interest. That's the only reason. I don't have the time to give you all the mechanics, but do your own research and you establish that that's actually what's happening. There are two contending forces, one on the communication side, the other on the NIA side, and they will not allow things to be done smoothly. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these problems that we are having.
Now, touching on the country's fight against corruption, Mr. Simmons emphasized that persons like Martin Amidu must be celebrated for their courage and boldness to protect the public purse, even to the point of sacrificing their political interest.
You take a look at Ejapa, one of my favorites, and we have people here that are, and I have Mr. Amidu's picture on there because I think we have not celebrated Mr. Amidu enough. There are few people in this country who can say with a straight face that they've done the heroics that he's done in this country. Remember when it was William's period, the president of the country was someone he had known for many years. He was his vice presidential candidate, for God's sake. You don't appoint somebody your vice presidential candidate unless you think highly of the person. This person made him Attorney General. And when this matter came, he wanted us to address it quietly and fix the matter, and he refused to do it. He walked out of the office, took on his gown, went straight to court, and filed processes to get the money back. And then got fired. How many people in Ghana can you point to and say that they've put their political career on the line the way Mr. Amidu did? Give me two people, and I recant. Give me two people. Who a person that they've known for decades and have immense respect for, being their vice presidential candidate, and they think that the person is not willing to go far enough, will defy that person and then go to court publicly to claim money back for the state. Give me two people who have made those same kind of heroic sacrifices in this country, and I'll back down. Then we had this Ajapa matter, and in this Ajapa matter, I assure you that everything that we did, everything we said, extraordinary amounts of evidence to show that Ghana was going to be shortchanged. People were still going to go ahead until he decided to write a corruption risk assessment that declared that whole transaction anathema. And in doing so, it meant therefore that the lawyers who are advising on the transaction had to acknowledge that if the special prosecutor of Ghana himself says this transaction is going to lead to corruption, we cannot ignore it. We have to put it in opinion. And you don't go to markets, because this is the way the transactions usually work, right? You hire your investment bankers, they call their friends in the investment community to start book running. But you need a lawyer to say that everything is above board, because you add that to the documents you give to investors to show that they don't have any issues. There is a legal opinion. If the special prosecutor of the country in which that transaction is originating claims is laden with corruption, they have to take that into account. That is the only reason Ajapa was suspended where it was. And what does that save us? It saved us at least $150 million of income every year going to a country that currently is so strapped for cash.
Let's stay on governance. Deputy Majority Leader in Parliament, Alexander Fenyomarkin, has described as dangerous attempts by some political actors to politicize the appointment of judges to the court. Now, according to him, such comments undermine the independence and integrity of the judiciary. Former President John Mahama has for some time now taken on the judiciary, alleging it has been manipulated by political powers. The 2020 NDC flag bearer who lost the elections and a subsequent petition at the Supreme Court insists the judiciary must undergo urgent reforms. But addressing the University of Cape Coast Law Students Union, Alexander Fenyomarkin, who is also a member of Parliament for the Efutu constituency in the Central Region, said the president only acted in accordance with the Constitution in appointing judges.
In practice, the judiciary upholds the rule of law by providing fair and impartial resolution of dispute between parties in line with statutes or case law in force. To do this, the judiciary must not only profess independence, but must be seen by all keen observers to be genuinely independent. Indeed, the framers of this 1992 Constitution have explained, while giving authority to the President of the Republic of Ghana to appoint certain categories of persons who serve in our judiciary, also cast around the judiciary a powerful veil of independence to shield it from explicit or crafty acts of the appointer. Increasingly, however, the judiciary is coming under unjust fire merely because vacancies have occurred in crucial courts in recent years. And in a dutiful president of the Republic has had the discharge this sacred obligation imposed by the Constitution on him to make appointment to fill those vacancies. Those appointments coincided with subsequent judicial decisions against some plaintiffs of a particular political color. And so, critics have dangerously weaponized the appointment of judicial officers in a way as to mislead unsuspecting citizens into believing that judges do the bidding of the president who appoints them. This is a dangerous trend that must be discouraged to protect the health of our democracy.
Away from governance and politics, potholes and surface defects on roads are a big problem in this country. Not only do they look unsightly, but they also pose a real safety hazard to road users. Whilst in other jurisdictions, road users get compensated for the impact of potholes on their vehicles, Ghanaians suffer the harsh realities of potholes in pain. My colleague Kojo has been spending some time on the Tema motorway to monitor how potholes are making the motorway a death trap for users, and he files this report.
Currently, as I said, it's about 60 years It's about 60 years. So the moment the lifespan reaches or elapses, this development will come. So what we are doing is, let's tackle the most serious one first. Our mobile maintenance units are on standby for the potholes. So that one will be done immediately after we have finished this one.
A roads engineer with the Ghana Highway Authority given assurances potholes on the motorway will be patched immediately after repair works on the Laklapa Bridge were completed. It's been over 3 months and the potholes are now becoming increasingly problematic for road users. Robert has been driving on this highway for the past 10 years.
Very bad. Photos ready is serious, especially side bridge na where China there be a so bridge ni the whole photos ready they say come some other feeling but very bad motorway in there and what I'm sure is serious. And then I check me start to use car for motorway so me have many car for more than 10 years. Said the tier and the tier the patchy still the tier and the tier to motorway there. Best thing is that company for bedroom on the flat because we have concrete and iron rods. It's why the coach have made concrete and iron rods. Maybe I am some part when say I start paying up because I don't need concrete. Now the coach have the flat. It's almost part of the problems of engineers and
At the Manette Junction motorway taxi rank, I come across Seth, a driver. He describes driving on the motorway as hell.
From Timaran about coming to Shashi, potholes are there, more is uncountable. When you reach, before you reach Abattoir Bridge, there is a bridge there. That is no more potholes because two sides or whether here or here is two lane. Any driver reach there, you have to slow down before you can pass and continue your journey. And when you are coming to malls and on the way before you get to the roundabout, and for county there is uncountable, honestly. And some they patch some raise when it will throw you. Some too they patch it, but it's going down. So it's no more. And then they don't say it's no more. The first as motor is no more motorway now. It become normal road now. It is no more motorway. There's a traffic 24 hours all the time when you get to the motorway. It is only midnight that you can pass motorway. You will go safely. But daytime, you will not what you want you get. Rather what is on the way. That's how you also go about it.
Fiavo is also a taxi driver here. He wants government to take action.
Even from here we are right now. Recently, some has occurred. Just from Tama roundabout coming to Abattoir, that area. There's a lot of accidents that happen over there due to potholes. As you know, motorway is a highway. In fact, now it has become a normal road for us. So if they want to maintain the motorway as a highway, then they should at least we need extension and to solve the potholes on the motorway.
It is safe to say that potholes are a big concern for road users. The longer we wait, the more accident and death are recorded on this motorway. For JoyNews, Samuel Kojo Brace, Motorway.
And we stay with roads because the people of BOAYINI farming community in the West Mamprisi municipality of the Northeast region have embarked on communal work to save the community from being cut off by heavy rains. The deplorable community roads had been flooded and washed away by recent rains. The initiative comes after their plea to the local assembly fell on deaf ears. The chief served a notice to lead the boycott of the 2024 elections if the road is not fixed. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko reports.
BOAYINI is a farming community in the West Mamprisi municipality of the Northeast region. However, the small village of over 3,000 farm population is located far away from the municipal capital and can only be accessed through the town of Langbinsi in the East Mamprisi municipality, as all other alternative routes have become unmotorable. The road from Langbinsi to the community is just 7 kilometers, and has been the cornerstone of the economic and livelihood activities of the people. I asked if the state is aware of us. We have no road, electricity, nor hospital. Due to the poor state of the road, we struggle a lot to reach the nearest hospital. Not to talk about the suffering pregnant women and labor patients go through on the road, and also armed robbers are taking over the road. Despite its enormous importance to the locals who depend on it to transport their farm produce to major market centers in Langbinsi and Nalirgu, the road had faced years of neglect. All the routes connecting this community are in bad state. We are stranded in the community, unable to travel to either Waliwali or Langbinsi. Armed robbers are attacking us almost every day. We have since lost about 5 motorbikes in these attacks. Although the road had been in a bad state, riddled with potholes and weak bridges, the arrival of the rains had caused further deterioration, and the community now stands on the verge of being isolated. To avoid a total cut-off, the chief and his elders, in collaboration with the assemblyman of the community, organized communal labor to put the road in shape, as they claim the municipal assembly authorities have refused to fix it for them. Aziz Dingana is the community's assemblyman.
I've been in assembly for more than 2 years now. I'm not up to 3 years. But in here, when I entered there, as I'm talking, I met with the MC and then the MP. As at 2021 December, if you check into our executive committee meetings, it was a recommendation that BOAYINI roads should be worked on. When we met this year for a meeting, I consulted, and then they said there is no funds. Anytime the funds are ready, then they'll work on the route. Last year, we organized a communal labor like we did today. We look for a tractor as we did today. Then we fuel it, and then we work on the road. But because human effort cannot be like a contractor, that is why we couldn't work it perfectly.
On his part, the chief spokesman, Mbakadi Kofi, said the community will boycott the next general election unless the road was fixed. I would like to be on my knees to appeal to the government to come to our rescue. We have been neglected. The promise to provide us with electricity has failed. Look at the poles standing there. The abandoned bridge too is about to be washed away. We will also like to declare our intention to boycott the 2024 election unless the road is fixed. The chief's pronouncement was welcomed by the residents. We are yet to see the benefit of always partaking in every election in the country. Therefore, unless our road is fixed, no member of this community will cast his or her vote. We will no longer vote in any election unless we are provided with electricity and our road is fixed. From BOAYINI in Mamprose West Municipality, Ilyas Sotanko reporting for JoyNews.
The Bambara groundnut is a traditional food crop largely cultivated by farmers in the northern part of Ghana. In most parts of the Upper East region, Bambara groundnuts are used in preparing meals for funerals and making local pastries like kose. Despite the importance of this crop, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research has found that farmers are not cultivating the crop in large quantities because they regularly record low yields. The institute has therefore introduced some new varieties to improve yields. Correspondent Albert Sori has more.
The Bambara groundnut is a leguminous crop grown for food. It is sometimes called Bambara bean and is similar to the regular beans or cowpea. Bambara groundnut is highly rich in protein. In the Upper East region, Bambara groundnut seeds are commonly called suma and are very important in the traditional settings, mainly because many foods prepared during the performance of funerals are from Bambara groundnuts. They are also used for making pastries like the popular kose, which is consumed with Hausa cocoa for breakfast by many Ghanaians. Bambara granules can also be cooked fresh or after they have been dried. But despite the importance of this food crop, farmers in the Upper East region have over the years reduced the quantity of Bambara granite they cultivate during the farming seasons. According to some of the farmers, pest infestations and low yields account for their lack of interest in growing Bambara granules.
The biggest thing is the climate change, like shortage of rain or erratic rainfalls. And then whenever there's too much rain, that very year they don't harvest.
The Plant Genetic Resources Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research has therefore introduced some farmer varieties of Bambara granite to farmers in the Binduri and Timpani districts of the Upper East region for trials on their farms. The institute hopes that the move will enable farmers to identify Bambara granite types that are suited to their specific farming conditions and encourage more farmers to grow the food crop, as it could contribute significantly to improving Ghana's food security. Some of the farmer varieties introduced to the farmers are tolerant to drought and can withstand pest and disease infestation. They are also high yielding and have an early maturity period, unlike the traditional varieties previously grown by the farmers. Dr. Daniel Ashi Kote is the acting director for the Plant Genetic Resources Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
Participatory field trials that are being conducted with farmers would lead to farmers selecting Bambara granite genotypes that are suited to their farming context. And once they do that, input dealers or seed producers who are part of the germplasm user groups would now come on board and pick up these seeds or seeds of these selected genotypes and multiply them. But prior to multiplication, these seed producers will be given training on how to produce quality seeds.
The farmer varieties of Bambara granules are being distributed under the Seed for Resilience project, which is being implemented in Ghana and 4 other African countries under the auspices of the Global Crop Diversity Trust based in Germany.
The project is being implemented at areas that are designated as hotspots for climate change and its effect. And the focus crops for these areas is Bambara granite. And the focus crops for the northern region is indigenous leafy vegetables, which are all nutritious.
Patrick Atama is a plant breeder at the Manga station of the Savannah Agriculture Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. His outfit is the local collaborator implementing the project in the Upper East region.
Over the years, we, as the Gem Bank, has collections of different accessions of Bambara granite, and our responsibility here is actually test them on station and then select the varieties that have promise before giving it out to the farmers to test it on their fields.
The farmers have welcomed the new farmer varieties of Bambara granules with high hopes of getting improved yields that could motivate them to go into commercial production of this very important traditional food crop.
She has seen that after planting, some of them are growing well compared to hers on the farm. So she expects that there will be a lot of harvest. He knows that it's very, very important because he's expecting early maturing varieties to select from this place, and also high yielded varieties to select from this project.
For Joy News, Albert Sori, Binduri.
Let's stay on agriculture. An estimated 100,000 smallholder farmers in the Bono East and Ashanti regions will be provided with free bags of Yara Miller attire fertilizer in a package that aims at effectively reducing smallholder farmers' fertilizer cost per acre by at least 33.3%. The move, which forms part of Yara Ghana's intention to secure access to low-cost, high-quality crop nutrition solution, also aims at helping strengthen the country's national food security agenda, with the Russian-Ukraine war currently affecting access to fertilizers by farmers. And Nasabit has the rest of the story.
As part of measures to ensure access to high-quality fertilizers that will improve Ghana's national food security, Yara Ghana, through its Grow Ghana initiative, is providing smallholder farmers with free bags of Yara Miller Activa. The project, according to the Chief Executive Officer of Northgate, a major distributor of Yara fertilizers, Madam Elizabeth Jamna, is to assist beneficiary farmers in getting access to enough reasonably priced fertilizers to aid food production in the country, as fertilizer supply is heavily hit by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine war.
Because of the crisis all over the world, first the COVID and then the war, so it's making the stability of our money very difficult, therefore making prices of it high. Because of these challenges that we are facing, the whole world, including Ghana, that's why these important stakeholders that are with us today put their heads together and started what they call the Grow Ghana initiative.
Commercial manager at Yara Ghana, Theophilus Jobwa, disclosed that a total of 100,000 farmers would benefit from the project, which costs about $20 million.
It is going to reach out to 100,000 smallholder farmers in Ghana, and it's a big thing. If we talk about 100,000 farmers, it's no joke. The amount involved in doing this is $20 million. For an organization to decide that it's going to spend $20 million on farmers, just giving them fertilizers to boost food security in the country, means Yara really thinks about the farm.
Regional Director at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mrs. Cecilia Kojo, on her part, underscored the negative effects of the high cost of fertilizers to food production across the region and noted that new technologies need to be developed to ensure its effective usage.
The government recognizes the challenges associated with farming with limited fertilizer, which include reduced production and productivity, decline in produce quality, and reduced income resulting from poor yields. The above challenges, therefore, call for the development of new technologies that will ensure fertilizers are used effectively.
Kimberly Rosen is the Ghana Mission Director at the USAID. She stated that the Grow Ghana program will help improve food security in the country.
We are delivering fertilizer generously donated by and providing technical assistance to farmers and agricultural small and medium-sized enterprises. This support really helps ensure that fertilizer is used efficiently and promotes climate-smart agricultural practices to maximize yields and enhance productivity.
Country Manager and Project Lead for West African Fertilizer and Agribusiness Partnership, Nana Aisha Mohammed, said a tracking system is being instituted to ensure that fertilizers reach beneficiary farmers and farmers use them efficiently to help improve productivity.
Our responsibility on this program or on this initiative is to ensure that the targeting and then the reaching of farmers that most need the product most. We've also developed a tracking system to ensure that we're able to trace the fertilizer, each bag of fertilizer, to a particular farmer. We will also be conducting impact assessments of these farmers to ensure that the farmers are using the product efficiently and then also have increased yields.
Anna Sabit, JoyNews, teaching.
You're watching News Desk with me, Ernest Minu. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest in business. Please stay with us.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Ghana Revenue Authority has intensified its district action to arrest business operators evading taxes. The Compliance and Enforcement Unit of the authority yesterday handed over the chief accountant at Champion Restaurant and Dishes to the Criminal Investigations Department for allegedly issuing fake VAT invoices to some of the customers. The team also stormed other bigger shops and supermarkets in the capital with similar action. Here's more in this report.
I do appreciate what they are saying because I'm also human, and it's not palatable to be in this kind of situation. But the point is that if you are doing things right, we will not come in this manner. So that is it. And we are going to continue. So, like I said, we bring some sanity into the system. So those watching us and those hearing us, please, if you are registered, make sure that you issue the VAT invoice because you never know when we will visit. We will knock at your door.
The 3 culprits arrested will be prosecuted as prescribed by the law.
We have every right, madam, we have every right to come in there and sort things out for ourselves. But I don't want to do that. That is why I'm saying that you yourself, give us what you...
Business, apologies, we lost audio there, but we have some more news for you. There has been an unending debate on the impact of global developments on the Ghanaian economy. President Akufo-Addo, Tuesday night, or Wednesday night rather, took his position on the matter at the United Nations General Assembly, insisting COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war continues to make life unbearable in Africa. Speaking on the sidelines of a lecture held in Accra, a development and international relations expert, Professor Lord Malko Yewuga argued the impact of the twin crisis would have been minimal had the Ghana Beyond Aid policy been effectively implemented.
Well, I would say that the Russian-Ukraine war and COVID-19 have real impact because our economy is so integrated to the global economy. And when these crises happen outside, they have immediate implications because we deal with the global economy. We import things and we rely on investors whose investments are affected also one way or the other. But more importantly, because of the things that we import, like crude oil, those things, when the prices tumble in the world market, it have immediate impact on us. So if you look at COVID-19 also, it led to the shutdown of the global economy. I mean, certain sectors of the economy were not working. Airlines were not working. Hotels were not working. So the service sector literally shut off. And because of that, there's a direct impact. And we feel it here. When we have the lockdown policies, even in our country, the local economy shut down. So these are crises that we didn't envisage, but they came to affect us. But my argument is not to focus more on whether or not COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine actually impacted. That's one, we cannot argue that. But my point is, why were we impacted the way we have been impacted? That's the crux of the matter. Because you notice that the way these conflicts or this pandemic impact countries vary or differ from one country to another. And my argument this afternoon is that our economy is so fragile. It's so fragile that anytime there's a little shake-up, if you like, in the global economy, it have immediate impact, and that can be serious. So therefore, going forward, we need to build a more robust economy. The president yesterday was at the UN where he gave what everybody thinks about the nature of the current global system, where he said that the rules are skewed against us, developing countries. What that tells me as a scholar is that it's about time we took our destiny to our own hands.
All right, and that's it for business. The news continues after the break.
Thanks for staying with us here on News Desk. And as you know, on Fridays, we talk tech. And Spikey is here to bring us up to speed. Hello, Spikey.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I hear you're going to be rich very soon. So just to let the world know you're my friend.
We hope so.
So
you want me to be rich?
But more importantly, the right thing must be done.
Importantly.
So I support you in this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. With 5 bags of cement.
Thank you.
All right, so what's happening in tech?
Yes, Tesla has been ordered to recall more than 1 million cars. So you know Tesla, the fourth front manufacturer of electric cars in the world.
Yeah.
Owned by the most controversial billionaire, the world's richest.
On the planet.
Elon Musk, yes. They've been asked to recall about 1.1 million cars in the US because the windows might close too fast and pinch your fingers.
Wow.
This is a country where things work. Like, they're actually concerned about windows rolling up too fast that it can pinch your fingers and injure you.
And it's also about the, the desire for excellence in everything they do,
Not Yemfanisa. No. There's a standard. That it should move at a certain speed.
There's a standard.
There's a standard.
Yeah.
And because they've not met this standard, they've been asked to recall 1.1 million cars. But Elon Musk says, hey, you people, why? Recalls are just outdated. We're in the 4th industrial revolution where everything is a software update away.
So you don't need to recall.
No. He just has to send updates. You update your car and then like your iPhone or your Samsung, you're good to go.
Goodness.
The window will stop
another level.
Too fast. Yeah. Software. I mean, come on. You are the one driving.
No, so I'm thinking now of Toyota and all the other, automobile companies and the reasons they have to recall so many cars. Wow.
Yeah. What's been done is that connect your car to the internet. A software update is loaded. The software update goes to tell the ECU, which is the control unit on the car, what to do. So if it's there, it's an instruction set. If button is pressed, roll up window at X speed, right? Now, how fast is it moving? And then, you just...
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. That's it.
Technology, Charlie.
That's why I love tech,
It moves like the speed of light, Anyway, what else is happening?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Have you played that game before, GTA?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, it's a very creative game. You can go around doing anything you want, stealing people's cars, basically living your life like a crazy person, but in a video game. And every single version of that game that comes out, it lasts long because the game is huge. It's a whole world. Okay. You're practically living a life in that game. And the new version, which is yet to be released, a hacker hacked into the company called Rockstar Games and has released footage of the game. And it's the largest, it's been described as one of the biggest security breaches in video game history because...
The downside of a tech-savvy generation.
Yeah. We want to see what's next.
All over.
You can't be keeping us in
suspense. Come on.
Gone were the days when before a movie comes, you wait years. Now somebody can legit...
The best you get will be those days they have some flyers.
Yeah. The ones that they post on the wall. Those ones are actually even drawn and painted.
Exactly.
So you don't even know whether that scene is in the movie.
Goodness.
Yeah, but... So if you want to know what GTA 6 is going to look like, just go online and then Google it.
Is the company taking, some action against...
How would you know who did it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hackers are always hiding in the shadows. Wow. Yes. And last but not the least, something that is incredibly serious. We need to pay very close attention. You know how...
Very sad headline.
Yeah. So some years ago, a teenager, Molly Russell, committed suicide. And it's believed that social media played a huge role in her, in the events leading to her committing suicide. Now, the reason why this is so is because of how social media algorithms work. Right. I always give this example when I'm giving talks about social media, and it's interesting. And I tell people that when you're in love, you find out that all your content on Instagram, Facebook, and the rest are lovey-dovey content. You see people in love because those are the contents that you like. And those are the contents that you spend more time on.
Yeah, or those are the contents you look out for.
Yes,
so
and you engage with them. So once you do that, the algorithm detects that, okay, this person is interested in this. Let's show them more. Because the whole business idea behind all these social media platforms is to keep you on there longer. Now, how do they keep you on there longer? By showing you what you want. So, same thing. If you suffer a heartbreak, you don't want to see lovey-dovey things. You want to see things about heartbreak, broken hearts. So you notice that your Instagram, timeline and Facebook all changes to match that. Now, this teenager was suffering from depression. And so she was engaging with more depressing and self-harm posts, and that kept being suggested to her, to the extent that her Pinterest was even sending her emails. This is some depression content you would like to see.
Wow.
You know, and unfortunately, all these things, albeit intended for good, because of the kind of content it is, and because the artificial intelligence does not have feelings, to be able to tell that this is not content that a child or a teenager should see.
It brings to the further issue of, you know, child control
Yes.
and regulation, child protection online.
Yes.
And how, especially on social media, we need to tighten those controls. And
Because it's rampant. There are lots of teenagers suffering from this, and because the parents don't understand the platforms, they're unable to regulate their children, and sad events like this.
Yeah, too bad there. But Smikey, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
So that's our Tech Talk for today. Lawrence is standing by to bring us the latest in sports. But what else but the Black Stars? And all of you are talking about the Black Stars. Lawrence is here to tell us what's happening in camp. Lawrence, I know that George is there, and he's bringing us up to speed with everything happening in the Black Stars. But I want to ask, is the love back? We're on the campaign, bring the love back, you know.
I think we saw glimpses of this campaign that we're doing after the Ghana versus Nigeria qualifier, that World Cup playoff game. You saw how the reception was after the Black Stars qualified to the World Cup. So it was just like the building stones or building blocks to what would be a massive approach or reception when we go to the main tournament. And prior to the game against Brazil, it's been the most topical issue across the country.
Even though I'm learning that we have a Kojo and a Hearts match on Sunday. I mean, the Black Stars is still number one.
Normally, Kojo and Hearts will be the topical issue, but then Black Stars against Brazil is such a game that you can't ignore. And that is what has got fans talking. From start of the week till today, it's been on the minds of everyone, because you have the likes of Neymar, Vinicius, all going to play, and then a new set of Black Stars. I would say a new set. I would say a newly motivated Black Stars facing the Samba boys.
I mean, it's virtually new, from the management all the way to the players, all 24 of them. Majority of the 24 players are pretty new to the team. So
let's say, I won't say new because we saw them against Nigeria and then the Caribbean Cup and then also qualifiers. So we've seen them for some time now. However, there's a big one. Yesterday we were talking about it, that the fact that this game will actually show whether we are ready for the World Cup or not. On a normal day, you see lineouts flying everywhere, Ghana's probable lineup as we head into the game. This time, Otuado has not given any clue as to who is starting. You see signs from training grounds and all that. You don't see any under Otuado. Yesterday, George mentioned it in his report, and I was wondering, so what at all are we going to play?
No, but it's very clear that, I mean, the side we are coming up against is a very, very, very strong side. The best you can hope for is not to concede many goals. Really, we have to be very sincere with ourselves and manage our expectations. But I mean, like I was saying yesterday, it appears that they know they're going against a very strong side, but they are managing the expectation, but working very hard to.
I saw Brazil's likely lineup for the game against Ghana today, and then I was like, they are playing 5 attackers. What does 5 attackers mean? It means we have to be very controlled when we have the ball. You don't need to open up spaces and then allow ourselves to be beaten anyhow, because 5 attackers against this Black Star defense, it's a new defense. We have to play quite well to be able to match up with the defense.
Okay, your scoreline?
2-1, Brazil win.
Okay, all right, that's very fair and very.
There's live commentary on Joy FM as well.
Great, so you don't want to miss that. A live commentary on Joy FM will bring you updates on all our platforms. Just stay with us. That's our package this morning. I'm Ernest Mina. I'm back at midday with more. Thank you for your company.